What's up, crypto junkies? Coming at you with another news segment today. Gosh, we got a lot to cover. It's like some days in crypto news, you notice how there's just like story after story after story after story after story, and then it kind of like calms down and it's like story. Yeah, it's kind of one of those days, the last 24 hours. So if you haven't already, check out the last video that we uploaded on the channel. It was about this Dr. Nouriel Roubini testimony that he gave in front of this committee. He is touted around as a guru, a economist, expert. Really, he's not. And so the video, so far, some of the feedback has been really, really amazing. Everything from the best breakdown they've seen. They love the logic and the line of thinking. So check it out. It's worth it for you to understand really how you should be looking at some of these people, you know? So the first thing that you start with a guy like this is you look at who's behind him, who's giving him money, where's he work, who's lobbying him, essentially. You can learn a lot about somebody's bias when you do that, because that's just how it works in America right now. So do I like that? Do I think that's right? No, those are not the question at hand. You got to find out who he's really batting for. And then coincidentally, his mindset and his approach and his whole worldview coincides with that. So anyway, this sums it up pretty well. Good job, Gem. At Gem Crypto, if you want to follow her. I like her posts. She posts good stuff. Roubini's comment was, I don't think we're gonna go to a solution that's based on public, permissionless, and trustless systems. Nobody's going to accept it. No government, no corporation, no bank. There you go. That summarizes it. But if you want more of that, if you want 19 minutes of juicy action with me just tearing this guy's whole new one, then go check out the other video. But anyways, this is what we're fighting for. So this directly correlates to this next tweet that I wanted to show you, which is right here. The latest of coordinated attacks across Facebook and Twitter. So decentralization, getting away from these few that own the many, is a big deal. So the first one I want to point out is that Free Thought Project, after 5 years. You imagine this for a second. Put yourself in their shoes. You spent 5 years building something. Gone. Swept out from underneath you, unpublished. 3.1 million fans, gone, they don't care. Next, 2.1 million followers, unpublished. Over 800 pages is the latest in the sweep, from what I've been hearing. And that's been confirmed on, I think, Zero Hedge. Over 800 pages, millions and tens of millions of followers, just gone. Whoosh. We don't want you anymore, okay? So that should tell you a few things. One is that the censorship issue is a big, big issue. All the recent stuff with Google, I don't even want to get into that because that's like 8 videos in and of itself. All the stuff with Google and then the Twitter shadow banning, the conservatives and the liberals and the Republicans and Democrats and everything that's going on that you see right now, that's why we're all in crypto. Remember that. That's what we're fighting for. There is a war going on right now, okay? Even though nobody's out in the streets, you know, with the guns out, there is a war going on right now against free speech. 100% there is. Not so related news, just want to mention it though. The Kanye Trump thing, pretty good actually. I like what he had to say, very entertaining. Surely Saturday Night Live will do a skit on it, which will be awful. And CNN has already hated it, and every other news network outside of Fox will essentially hate it. RT will love it as well, because RT kind of swings that way. But anyway, that's the first piece of news that I wanted to share with you. Moving on to the next. So I want to just drop a quick note here. We have Bitcoin future expiration dates coming. So futures contracts are expiring, okay, on October 17th and October 26th. So mark those dates on your calendar if you haven't already. We got a sheet up on our TradingView profile. I'll bring that up on the screen now. It has all the dates added on it. You can check that out and then follow us along on TradingView if you like. That would be awesome. We'd appreciate it. We do publish there, just not that often. We will be doing more and more there as this year rolls on. But mark your dates, calendars. October 17th, October 26th. Those are the expiration dates to be watching for price action on Bitcoin, my friends. So the next piece, we're once again talking about the SEC and ICOs. So it turns out that there's this little investigation going on. It was released just a couple days ago and reported on by obviously everybody, but hundreds of ICOs or token sales. Turns out we're breaking securities laws. Now they're going after them, and supposedly some of them already have quietly agreed to refund investors, pay fines, and not make any attempts to go legitimate, which just proves the overall point that a lot of them weren't legitimate. Now, the numbers around ICOs is staggering, okay? Over the past 4 years, the amount of ICOs that are reported and recorded is really, really ranging. ICO Alert over the last 4 years says that it's tracked more than 5,000, but publicly displays 3,400 legitimate ones. Legitimate. CoinDesk has and lists 800 in the past 2 years, but the number overall is more than 20 billion has been raised in ICOs to date. Whew. 20 billion. And already we're at $990 million lost in hacks so far this year, which is more than 2017, a lot more. So hacks are on the rise. ICOs went through its boom. It peaked, I want to say December, January, maybe even, well, December to February, I think ICOs really peaked. And around June, July, you still saw it hitting pretty heavy. And now it's like completely dead and drowned out. Just the life is just pulled out of the token sale ICO space completely. And with good reason, because even if you wanted to do something legitimate, the Howey test is very confusing. I've actually helped a couple different coin projects with navigating the Howey test and how you really can market and talk about token sales. And then now with the recent changes with bounty sales as well, so bounty programs, you have to watch how you talk about that. According to them, soliciting a security, so it's tricky, okay? Because there's a reward given. So then it breaks the Howey test that you thought you passed with everything else that you're doing with your marketing. But the bounty program itself could be breaking the Howey test, which then throws you back into securities realm. What we really need here, guys, if I'm just me in the United States, we're just talking directly here for a second, just friends. We need a clear set of guidelines rolled out in the United States so that everyone knows exactly what to do. But if you make rules that like on a Monday can go this way, on a Tuesday can go that way, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you want to like hold this guy to this standard and this guy to a slightly different standard, we have to have it very black and white. So just make it black and white. That makes it easy. The Howey test is dated and it's not as relevant as you would think for the ICO space, and neither is some of the latest comments and hints that they've made about bounty programs, okay? So let's just clear it all up, and it makes this really, really easy. So yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, SEC, whoever they work with, DOJ, FBI, they're going after a lot of these guys. Makes a lot of sense, okay? People are losing a lot of money being lost in the market. We got to clean that up so that way the crypto space is looked at as a serious player. It's looked at as a serious player now, but it's not looked at as safe as the stock market, which I think is a little bit laughable because the stock market is what, still 99% of people lose their money 200 years later, 200 years later. So come on, spare me on some of this stuff. But overall, I think that we need a clear understanding from, especially if the SEC chairman, who is that, Clayton, if he could just speak directly, because we can't even get a clear answer on Bitcoin seemed to get a pass, but ETH got a pass as well when it shouldn't have. Ripple's getting special treatment. Yes is yes, no is no. It's that simple. Okay, on to the next piece. Okay, quick one here. ZeroX was just listed on Coinbase. I'm actually just getting that news piece now. That literally just got published within the last couple minutes. Very first ERC20 token listed on Coinbase. I don't know anything about ZeroX, so I can't even say anything about that. But I'll have the article underneath the video, and you can check it out for yourself. Okay, next piece. India is once again in the news here a little bit. They are still toying around and playing around with the thought of a state-backed, government-backed cryptocurrency. According to an unnamed senior official, I really hate how journalism is going these days. It's an unnamed this, according to a source who knows about this person, it said that. It's just all a bit silly. So if you remember, back on July 6th is when the original crypto ban was put into place. That was after mention of it being talked in April. So the Reserve Bank of India first announced this ban in April, then July, the government essentially banned crypto. But RBI ever since then has been talking that it wants to explore doing a state-backed cryptocurrency. And I think that's why you see India and many of these other countries that are banning it than not banning it. China will be another one that takes a while to swing it, but in recent news, I've heard that China's working on a actual backed cryptocurrency, which would be insane. So yuan-backed crypto, because the yuan is backed by a load of gold. If you've been paying attention to the gold sector, China is a main, not only producer, so they mine a load of gold, and they also buy and accumulate a ton of gold. They're one of the largest gold producers and holders on the planet. They're top 3. There's been a lot of interesting things with China over this last 10 years with gold and their dollar and what they're doing with the United States. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes, but mark my words, China will be a big player in the crypto space. Right now, they're still playing the game and trying to see if they can just roll something out for themselves. I think that's what they're probably exploring. You know, now they're openly talking about it. China is creating their own state-backed digital currencies. I love that idea. Yuan-backed, which the yuan is backed by gold. Oof, Beautiful. That would be really, really juicy. Extremely dangerous to the US dollar though, because already China holds a lot of the debt, the bonds, the treasury notes, all the fake money that's been printed day in and day out of the US dollar fiat. They hold a lot of that, so it's a dangerous game that we're playing. But I do believe that in the long run, that's where you want to be. Like, China's direction is where you want to be. And I know that people won't like me saying that, but anyways, that's just what it is. We have to remove and ignore the bias that gets us to say one thing or another based on this categorization and identification we put on ourselves. So if China's doing it better, if Mars is doing it better, then we have to look at that. We have to be open to that, right? Next piece of news, let's jump into it. Bitfinex, I've been talking about them quite a bit. If you haven't already watched my full breakdown of their insolvency issue, well, the claims of their insolvency issue, and some of the other recent news with HSBC and them, well, this comes as maybe a little bit of a surprise. Bitfinex suspends fiat deposits, that's euro, US dollar, Japanese yen, pound sterling. And they said that it will resume within a week. Well, it's expected to resume within a week. And you know, I didn't mention this in that video, but it is interesting that all the Noble Bank reports started hitting really, really hard, and then Bitfinex all of a sudden launched and announced this banking deal with HSBC, and now we have them putting it on pause. That's interesting.
Yeah, so Fargo allegedly refused to continue operating correspondent bank. The lawsuit against the bank is quickly dropped. Bitfinex currently reflects.
Yeah, fourth largest exchange. They run a bootstrap group too. They're a very small group, 6 people or so run the whole exchange. Fourth largest in the world. Gosh, that's so impressive. It just proves that, like, maybe you don't need to run an ICO and get $50 million. What are you going to actually use that on? Besides events that you overpay for, tech that doesn't get built, and really horrible marketing. Like, maybe you need to start with 5 guys and $100,000. See what you can do with that. See what you can build with that. So it's kind of like the IPO craze and the startup craze all over again, but painted with a different brush, okay? Anyways, that's all I got for you in this video. I'm gonna end it there. Be on the lookout because we'll probably have another video dropping today because there is some other news pieces I wanted to talk about. A couple of the profile pieces I have dropping this week as well. We're gonna keep it rolling, baby. So if this is your first time to the channel, just checking us out, take a second and just click the like button, okay? That means so much to me and it really does help support us. It helps us move through the algorithms, helps more people see our video. And then if you really do like what we're doing here, click the subscribe button and click the bell notification. It just takes a second. And I'd love to also hear your interaction and chat with you in the comment section about what you think about this video, what you think about the topics that we covered, and where your head's at with some of this stuff, okay? I know that crypto's down, so what else do we gotta do? Let's talk about it. Place a comment underneath and be on the lookout because we'll be launching more videos on the channel very soon, my friends. See ya.